Memorial Day must be a symbol of how we live our lives day after day in a deep appreciation for those who have given it all for each one of us. Think of this. When I was a child, I remember attending a funeral, for a friend of mine's favorite pet. There were words spoken, songs sung, a marker put in the ground so the child could come and visit his dog. But the child got older. The forest and the weeds grew up, and the pet was forgotten. Now think about an old oak tree. It dies, it may be burned, maybe just rots. No plaque, no marker, no eulogy, just hundreds and hundreds of acorns. And over time, that great oak is much better memorialized than that pet. In America, the death and disfigurement of our veterans cannot be adequately memorialized by pomp, plaques, VA benefits, and tax breaks. It must be seen in the daily lives of the American citizenry that remains behind. So today I view us, each one of us, as the acorns and saplings of the strong oak-like warriors who've gone on before and whose names are written around us. Honor them with granite and brass, that's okay. But more importantly, honor them by becoming like them. Honor them by emulating the lives that they gave up. Each person who's laid down his life for his country, whether he be rich, poor, male or female, black, white, Hispanic, Native American, Middle Eastern, Asian, if I missed anybody, they all have the exact same spirit that we need to strive to have today. And that is a sacrificial spirit. I grew up with the great oral traditions of the South. I know stories about the Great Depression, World War II, ration stamps, victory gardens. These were passed down from my great-grandmother, my grandmothers, and my grandfather. I know that my grandmother cooked breakfast every morning, worked in the barn, caught a ride from her farm into town, and then walked a mile to the factory, where she put in a full shift. Walked a mile so she could get a ride back to the farm, where she cooked dinner, where she tended to her twins, where she went and milked the cows, and then took care of her parents and her in-laws. Guess what? That was norm. That was how people lived, and people were honored and celebrated for the sacrifice. In college, people used to make fun of me because when I really liked somebody, the biggest compliment I would pay them is, that guy's a real hard worker. Because where I came from, that was one of the biggest honors you could give someone, is to honor their work and their service. But today we do not see that. Or instead, this hard-working side of America is not lifted up. It's not honored. It's considered sad. How many of you have been to a funeral and you've heard someone lamentingly say, she had to work hard her whole life? When did that get to be a bad thing? Today, the honored, the celebrated, the heroes of American culture are the ball players, the singers, the CEOs, the movers, the shakers, the moneymakers, the people who demand honor and sacrifice, not the people who give honor and sacrifice. Sacrifice has become a dirty word in America, relegated to churches and mosques and synagogues and service organizations. And guess what? They have problems getting people to serve too. I think each one of us has a little dialogue saying, you've really given enough. It's someone else's turn now. Today I want to inspire you, not y'all, but each one of you, to give more to your country and to give more to each other, to take back the honor and satisfaction that can only be found in the hard work of sacrifice and service to others. Thankfully, most of us will not have to give the sacrifice given by the people written on the walls behind us. But if you want to honor these men and honor these women, then emulate their lives. You must become sacrificial leaders in this community. So how is this done? First, sacrificial leadership is personal. It cannot be imitated. It cannot be delegated. It must be demonstrated. It cannot be done from the ivory tower of good intentions or good ideas. It can't be done from the 18th or 19th green of the local golf course. It can't be done from your fishing boat. It can't be done from celebratory galas in the name of charity. Sacrificial leadership is like war. It puts you in dirty, strange places with people you don't necessarily want to be around. Sacrifice is by definition uncomfortable. The smells can be nasty, the sounds haunting. It will stir your conscience and may even cause sleepless night or disturbing dreams. But when you do it right, regardless of your military bearing, you'll find yourself weeping for those in need. As Americans, especially Southern Americans, we pride ourselves on our tradition and our ethic of justice, liberty, hard work, and hospitality. Our history is full of barn raisings, quilting bees, working fields, and neighbor helping neighbor. Ladies and gentlemen, in today's economy, in today's moral vacuum, there is more need of neighborly kindness and service than ever before. If you want the America of today and tomorrow to be better than the America of the past, if you want to truly honor the sacrifice and the service of these men and women, then make America better by serving. Right now, there are people stepping up to serve right here in this community. Because of my job, I meet about 5,000 people every year. And each one, like the veterans I've taken care of, each one has a story. And many of them are inspirational. Grandmothers and grandfathers who are parenting for a second time, unwilling to let their grandchildren slip through the cracks. They forego retirement to sacrifice for their family and for this nation. Foster parents and adoptive parents who, for the sake of this nation, create a family to nurture and to prepare children, preparing them to be givers to our society and not takers. Did you know right here in Carroll County, there are mothers and wives who seek out single parents, single moms who are struggling. They teach them, they mentor them, they help take care of them and prepare them. There are school children who make pot holders, lemonade stands, even make little gardens in their yard and then take the proceeds to the local soup kitchen. There are teachers who identify the needy children in their room and they lay by food and supplies because they know when summer comes, these children are going to be hungry. There are men who see the needy widows around them and help them. There are retirees who seek out the poor and needy, and they go and they teach these people how to get and maintain a job. These opportunities are all around us if we care enough to see them. What about you? Can you read and write? There are some children around here who desperately need an adult to care for them because their parents don't. Spend a few moments, a few minutes, a few hours with these children once a week. Mentor them, teach them, and show them that you expect more from them because they're Americans. These men and women gave their lives for those children, and you can show them their value by you giving part of your life for them as well. Do you have a good marriage? Don't raise your hands. If you have a good marriage, then work with victims of domestic abuse. Many of these women are at very high risk of entering another abusive relationship. Demonstrate what a loving marriage and a stable household is supposed to look like. Teach them that they deserve to be treated with respect. You can show them that they're valuable because someone on these walls laid down their lives for them, and you're willing to do the same. Have you retired from your job? That's great. But you can't retire from being a citizen of the United States of America.